Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Trap on the Boom and Bust channel, Bears podcast by a Bears fan. I'm your host, Terry, and today we're doing a player spotlight on Cody Whitehair. So, player spotlight, again, we just quickly take a look at a player, what they've done for us, what we expect going forward. Label them as a core piece, a young piece to build around, a starter, or just a backup. So we've been doing a couple of these. I mean, a couple people enjoy it. You know, we trying to do something to, break up the time between now and we actually get some football action. But, we went through a lot of players so far, but I think Cody Whitehair is probably one of the more interesting ones. To do the stats for offensive linemen, really we're just talking about the games they played, and he's played all his games. Cody Whitehair has went 16 for 16, both seasons back to back, and he's heading into his third season, as a pretty reliable tool. We get that out the way. I know some people like the, Pro Football Focus and all that crap. I don't do that, especially with offensive linemen. I've said that before, I don't trust that. Like, they don't know. They're watching from afar. They don't know the blocking assignments. They don't know the actual play because they'll do things like, grade a player, on the right assignment, but they don't, how do they know what the play is? They can think they know what the play is, but it might be drawn up different or they were asked to do something different on that play. So I don't really get into the offensive lineman stuff with Pro Football Focus. But anyway, let's just talk about Cody Whitehair. So for me, to be honest, and this might be different than a lot of people, I felt like Cody Whitehair regressed this year. I thought he definitely regressed as a center, and it seemed to me like he would have been better off just playing guard. Now, when I say he regressed, it wasn't like he was bad or anything. It's just he really had trouble timing up his snaps with his blocks. And it's not every single time because, of course, he would have got moved or, benched. But it was too many times for an NFL center for him to have bad snaps. And I'm talking about snaps that I see in high school, like where it's down at a quarterback's knee or, it's too early, too high. It's just too many mistakes. And then, all of us, we watched the season, we've seen the bad snaps. And even when they weren't like, game wrecking or play wrecking snaps where the ball went over the head and ruined the play, even when they still got there, they threw off the timing a lot. I've seen too many times where the ball wasn't in the right place and that threw off the run and everything what Trubisky's trying to do. And he's young, so he's already sped up and trying to get a rhythm. So I just felt that was too many times, and then times where he could, or he focused too much on the snap after a bad snap, and then the block wasn't as crisp. So there's things of that nature that that really stood out. And Cody Whitehair was a really high, prospect for me coming out. A guy that could play 5 positions, was a left tackle his last year at Kansas State. So, a lot of people have said Zach Martin, similar situation, not a similar player. He's not as technically crisp and dominant as Zach Martin, but a very similar situation. So when he ultimately became the center because of injury to Ronnis Grasu, I was comfortable with it. I'm like, okay, he definitely could take on that responsibility, especially if it's not long term, because if people remember, he was slated to start at left guard. That's when Kyle Long was kind of having his injury and they were trying to move Sitton over to the right guard and all that stuff. So Cody Whitehair originally was going to be the guard. And then the injury happened with Grasu, and so then they had him at center. Did well, and they just left him there. And this was frustrating to me because it was like, we're going to cross-train all our linemen. We want to continue to pick guys that can play multiple positions. That way we could keep a lighter depth chart, blah, blah, all this good stuff. It makes sense. But then they fall victim to that same trap NFL teams do. Well, he did well as a rookie, really well as a rookie, so let's just leave him there. Like, let's not even have the possibility of him moving. And because coming in the year 2, I'm like, he should be a guard. he should be a guard. Now, I had a little more faith in Grasu than other people did, but then you still got Eric Kush too. So I'm just like, while he is a good center, I think he's a better guard, and I think he's going to be even better when he doesn't have to worry about the snaps. And then this year, now I didn't think he was going to have bad snaps like this, but this year I thought that kind of came to fruition. And then when you had Kyle Long getting hurt and the shuffling around, we saw some games where Cody Whitehair had to play guard. And I wouldn't say he was significantly better, to be honest with you, but I did just feel like, okay, you could plug him there and just kind of roll with it and have really good guard because, the difference with him at center, I think there's more negative than him at guard. But anyway, I just thought he regressed a little bit this year. He's still, what you get with Cody Whitehair, he does add the ability for you to get out on the perimeter, with screens and with, different, elongated runs or bubbles, whatever you want to call them. He does help you with that, because of his mobility and, his, quick feet. He can get downfield, make plays or make blocks in the, downfield area. And that seems to be key in some of the gadget stuff that they did in Kansas City. Again, I'm not banking that Matt Nagy's going to have his offense look exactly like Kansas City, but I am banking that he's going to do a lot of things with his weapons and try to get out in the perimeter more. So Cody Whitehair does add that value to it, and he's kept that over the 2 years. Now, I would say, while he is very, very good and he can get on his blocks, it would be nice to see him come in a little stronger, a little bit more sand in the pants, as they say, so he could really start dominating blocks. Because like I said, he could block people. He could definitely get in front of them, turn them. But I haven't seen the ability for Cody Whitehair to move people. That was never really his MO. So it'd be interesting to see how much better he could get at his power blocking, while adding on some strength. And, you're in the NFL going into your third year. You would expect that workout program to start kicking in as you kind of get into your prime to see what type of NFL player you're going to be. So it'll be exciting to see that. And as of right now, I would say looking forward, that's the biggest question with Cody Whitehair. Not that he's bad, but you got James Daniels now. And he comes in as one of the top rated centers, if not the top rated center, not mine personally, but a top rated center out of Iowa, factory of the O-line. And he's a good center. He's super long, got super long arms, and he's super quick. Like Cody's quick, but James Daniels is quicker, especially in zone and all that lateral movement. So now you got him, and a lot of people expected him to be the center, and then you move Cody. But it was said by Ryan Pace himself, might have changed by now, but he said after draft that they're going to start James Daniels out as guard, left guard, I believe he said specifically. And they're going to continue to cross-train him like everybody else, so he's going to get reps everywhere. But the plan is to start him out at left guard. He said, of course, if something happens or if it's not working as smooth as they want, then of course they can always just switch him to center and move Cody Whitehair over, because Cody Whitehair has that ability, and so does James. So he's like, that's the beauty of it, yada, yada. But it's going to start out with Cody at center and then James at left, which makes sense because Sidden is now gone. And then Kyle Long has showed that he wants to play right guard. He's just more comfortable there. Is it a shoulder injury? Who knows? So it makes sense. So that's what it's looking like right now. And I'm in no way saying Cody Whitehair is not going to start. He's going to start on one of the spots. I'm just saying the question is, will he stay at center? Because you got James Daniels, who I think it just makes more sense to put him there. James Daniels played there most of his college career. He's never had those issues with the snaps or anything. And you just freeing up Cody to be better. So I mean, I would say if my quickest guy would like him at the center, especially if we're doing a lot of zone, because if your center can reach block one tech or zero tech, that frees up a lot of the rest of the offensive line to do different things if he can reach block him by himself. And so I would put my quickest guy there because that gives me the more advantage for my guards to be able to help out on different players. So that's me personally. But again, we don't know what Nagy's offense is going to look like. People continue to say they do. And we got a little more footage from camp. But until we get a real solid idea in the season, not the preseason, but in the season, then I'm not going to say, what's what. But I would say Cody Whitehair is a young piece to build around. I wouldn't call him a core piece just because it's not built around Cody Whitehair on the offensive line, of course, and it's usually not built around the center. And as flexible as he is, I wouldn't say that he's a core to what we do. I mean, again, he's good at blocking, but offensive line is just really hard. And in pass protection, in the interior, you're never really going to stand out. Like I said, my example with Joe Thomas before, as a left tackle, you can't account for the rest of the team, but you can by yourself really shut down a premier pass rusher. So that makes you super valuable. So Cody doesn't really have that. But we'll see. I definitely think he's a young piece to build around. We're going into his third year. And I think with James Daniels is a good addition. But we got to continue to get guys that really have that ability similar to Whitehair and really make each other stronger. Because I think Daniels just going to make Whitehair stronger by being able to play both of those positions, which gives Whitehair time to cross-train and doesn't put all the pressure on him as well. So, anyway, go to the comment section. Let me know what you thought about Cody Whitehair last season. What do you think about him going forward? What would you say, young piece or core piece? Or do you say he's a backup? Maybe you are a rogue fan. I don't know. But thumbs up, subscribe, share it around, get the convo started. Remember, stay up and bear down.